After 6 years, 7 seasons, and 137 episodes, Riverdale concluded its run on the CW with a finale that combined heartfelt farewells and the kind of crazy twists that fans had come to expect from the show.
I don't want to cry. Oof. I'm emotional today.
Season 7 had the Riverdale gang living in an alternate 1950s reality following a time travel mishap meant to prevent a comet catastrophe. In the penultimate episode, they regained their memories of their true lives, but still had to maintain the 50s status quo to secure the future. In the present day, an 86-year-old Betty read about Jughead's passing and realized she was the last one left and wants to go back to Riverdale one last time as her memory slips more and more each day. Falling asleep, she encountered an angel Jughead who transported her back in time to discover how each of their lives had unfolded. As she takes in her old room and her old self with Angel Jughead, she sees Archie through their windows one last time. Archie decided to join a crew and travel the country, building highways to California. Mary eventually bought a dress shop and lived happily with a woman named Brooke. Betty reunites with her mother and sister, who have both found contentment in their lives. Alice divorced Hal and became a stewardess, just as she always dreamed. However, after a flight where the pilot had a heart attack, Alice successfully piloted the plane from Riverdale to Poughkeepsie. A man on the plane asked her to dinner, and they got married a few months later. Then, they traveled the world together. Polly had twins Juniper and Dagwood again, and lived a happy life with her family, though she never performed again. Betty goes to Fangs and Midge and learns that Fangs became a successful singer, getting a single at number 8 on the charts and preparing for a tour over the summer. And Midge's parents coming around to them getting married. Sadly, Fangs dies in a bus accident 4 weeks into his tour. But, thanks to his hard work, Midge and their daughter were taken care of for the rest of their lives.
He was the first one of us to pass away.
Betty joins Kevin and Clay and learns that they relocated to Harlem, where Clay became a professor at Columbia University, and Kevin established his own off-Broadway theater troupe. They lived into their 80s and passed away within a short span of each other. Archie, Jughead, Betty, and Veronica resolved their love triangle by forming a quad. This arrangement involved Betty and Veronica occasionally swapping partners and even being together themselves. It was a fittingly unconventional twist for the show. Reggie went on to play for the Lakers, sold his land in Duck Creek after his parents died, then moved back to Riverdale to coach the basketball team. He got married and had 2 sons who now run the used car dealership in town in the present day. Julian died at 28 in Vietnam, while Nana Rose was reincarnated multiple times. Principal Weatherby and Ms. Thornton got married. Tom Keller and Frank Andrews were murdered. Veronica moved back to Los Angeles to become a movie producer and an assistant, but was running the studio within just a few short years. She won 2 Oscars and produced some of the most iconic movies. It doesn't matter the time or place, she will always be the She-Wolf of Wall Street.
Our relationship is the most thrilling thing I could have ever imagined.
Cheryl and Tony moved to the western part of the country, where Tony flourished as an activist and Cheryl became a successful painter. The couple opened art galleries and raised a son named Dale, who, fun fact, is played by Vanessa Morgan's real-life son.
Pound for pound, you're my closest equivalent. But there's that other Reggie, so how do we know you're even legitimate? I'm gonna need to see some kind of birth certificate.
The story wraps up as Betty and Archie share a poignant moment as he delivers a moving poem, reminiscing about the good, bad, weird, silly, and wild adventures in Riverdale. Archie made it to California and never returned to Riverdale. He became a construction worker, an aspiring writer, and settled down and started a family. He later died and his last wish was to be buried in Riverdale, next to his father. They share a final kiss before Betty visits Pop Tate, the heart of Riverdale. He had later passed, but they can rest assured he's doing what he loves, flipping burgers. As for Betty and Jughead, they both went off to have successful careers. Jughead created his own magazine that was and still is a wild success. As for Betty, her book The Teenage Mystique was a bestseller. She freelanced and protested in New York before starting She Says magazine, the go-to source for feminist and progressive causes, which continues to be published to this day. Neither Betty nor Jughead got married, but Betty adopted her daughter, Carla, and loved being a mother and grandmother.
I wish that we could stay in Riverdale forever.
The series comes to an emotional close as Betty drives through Riverdale, reflecting on the beauty of the town. Betty passes away peacefully, but her story doesn't end there. A younger version of Betty emerges from a vehicle at Pop's diner, reuniting with her friends and embracing her loved ones. Outside the diner, Angel Jughead, the narrator of this incredible journey, addresses the audience one last time. He leaves Betty and her friends in the timeless setting of their high school years, forever 17 and juniors in high school, talking about school, homework, dances, and the big game in the familiar town of Riverdale. In its long-awaited finale, Riverdale bid farewell with a mix of heartfelt farewells and jaw-dropping twists, leaving fans both satisfied and stunned. As the curtain closed on the series, our beloved characters found their fates intertwined in a web of nostalgia and intrigue, marking the end of a 7-season journey on the CW. Let us know what you thought about the series finale down in the comment section below.
Goodbye.